What if I told you that losing them was the best thing that could have ever happened to you? What if I told you that this pain you're feeling, the heartbreak, the disappointment, isn't a curse but a blessing? Most people break when they get replaced. They sink into self-pity, replaying every moment, asking, "What did I do wrong?" They beg for answers, hoping for some kind of closure. But a Stoic sees the truth. A Stoic doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't crumble. The moment they chose someone else, they made a decision. That decision wasn't about you, it was about them. Their choice doesn't define your worth, and their actions don't control your destiny. The real question is, will you let this break you, or will you use it to become something greater? Life is full of defining moments, moments where you can either stay down, weak and needy, or rise with unshakable strength. This is one of those moments. You can cling to the past, wishing things were different, or you can embrace the mindset of someone who cannot be broken, someone who doesn't just survive, but thrives. Because here's the truth. When they walked away, they gave you an unexpected gift: freedom. Freedom from illusions, from wasted time, from someone who didn't see your value. And now you get to transform. While they expect you to be lost, drowning in regret, you're about to do something they never saw coming. You're about to become the person they wish they never let go, the person who never loses because they never attach to what isn't meant for them. And here's the real magic. When you stop chasing and embrace your own power, the universe shifts in your favor. Energy moves differently around you. Suddenly, opportunities appear, new people enter your life, and the things you once thought you lost start gravitating back to you. But by then, you'll realize you don't even want them anymore. So if you're ready to take back your power, master your emotions, and show them exactly what they threw away, then stay right here, because what I'm about to tell you will change everything. True power isn't about proving your worth to anyone. It's not about making them regret it. It's not about hoping they return. It's about something far greater, realizing you never needed them in the first place. The ultimate freedom comes when you let go completely, when you stop caring whether they see your value, whether they regret leaving, or whether they ever come back. Because the moment you detach, you win. Your energy shifts, your focus sharpens, and your life becomes yours again. Most people never reach this level. They stay stuck in the past, waiting for closure and hoping for a second chance. But you are different. You are not waiting. You are elevating. While they are lost in distractions, you are building. While they are seeking validation, you are gaining power. The person who needs nothing is the one who attracts everything. When they finally look back, expecting to find you still waiting, still longing for them, they will be met with a truth they never expected. You are gone, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. You have outgrown them, and that is the moment their regret becomes real. But by then, it won't matter, because you won't be looking back. You will be too busy winning, no longer chasing, no longer reacting, no longer waiting for anyone to see what was in front of them all along. Those who left were not losses. They were lessons. Lessons that led you here, to this moment, to this version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and untouchable. A version that no longer needs validation, no longer seeks revenge, and no longer cares who stays or who goes. Because when you stop chasing, the world starts chasing you. Love feels real, doesn't it? The way they smiled at you, the way they held your hand, the way they whispered promises in the dark. It all felt like forever, but forever was just a word, a dream you convinced yourself was real. What you thought was love was a mirage, a reflection of your own emotions, your own desires. Now that they're gone, you see it for what it truly was, an illusion, because love, in its rarest form, is never as pure as it seems. Most people build their world around the one they love. They pour in their time, energy, and soul, believing that devotion is enough to make love last. But feelings shift like the wind, unpredictable and uncontrollable. One day they swear they'll never leave, the next they're gone as if you never existed, and you're left standing there asking, how could they move on so easily? The answer is simple. They never saw love the way you did. People love differently. Some love with loyalty, with logic, with a sense of permanence. They see love as a foundation, something to build a future on. But others love based on how they feel in the moment, chasing excitement, craving newness, needing the rush of something different. When that excitement fades, when comfort replaces chaos, they start looking elsewhere, not because you failed or because you weren't enough, but because they were never yours to keep. This is the harsh truth. The idea that love is unbreakable, that devotion guarantees loyalty, that they would stand by you no matter what, is a fantasy, a story told in movies, in songs, in childhood fairy tales. But a Stoic sees reality. A Stoic understands that everything in life is temporary, including love. You weren't meant to hold on, you were meant to let go. Most people, when they get replaced, spiral. They beg, they plead, they try to remind the other person of the good times, as if memories can hold someone who has already made their choice. But desperation only proves weakness. The moment you seek validation from the one who left you, you hand them your power. You tell them, you still control me, you still have me in your hands. A Stoic never gives away their power. They don't chase. They don't try to convince someone to stay. They don't fight for a love that no longer exists. Instead, they step back, let go, and accept a truth most people refuse to see. You cannot lose what was never truly yours. Because here's the thing. Love, when real, doesn't need to be held onto. It stays on its own. It doesn't threaten to leave when things get comfortable. It doesn't search for distractions when the high fades. And if someone walks away, if someone chooses another over you, it only means one thing. They were never meant to stay, and that is where true strength is found. Once you stop seeing love as something to own, something to possess, something to keep at all costs, you free yourself from the weight of heartbreak. You become untouchable. The one who cannot be broken by love is the one who commands respect. Because the person who does not chase is the one who is chased. The one who does not need is the one they regret losing. You were not defeated, you were freed. The illusion has shattered, and now you can finally see. To master your emotions, master your power. They expect you to break. They expect you to be lost, drowning in your own emotions, desperate to pull them back. They expect you to lash out, to react, to crumble under the weight of heartbreak. And that's exactly why you won't. Because the moment you let your emotions control you, you lose. A weak person lets feelings dictate their actions. They send that late-night message, hoping for one last conversation. They stalk social media, searching for signs of regret. They drown in self-pity, believing happiness was tied to someone else's presence. But a Stoic understands a fundamental truth. The one who controls their emotions controls their life. Think about it. What happens when you let emotions take over? You become impulsive. You react without thinking. You act out of fear, out of pain, out of a desperate need to regain what was lost. And every time you do, you give them more power over you. The more you react, the more they know they still have a hold on you. And when they know that, they don't regret leaving. They feel validated in their choice. That's why the Stoic approach is different. A Stoic doesn't suppress emotions, they master them. They don't ignore pain. They acknowledge it, but they don't let it dictate their actions. They step back, detach, and choose how they will respond. Because true strength isn't about having no emotions, it's about remaining unshaken by them. Imagine a fire burning within you. That fire is your pain, your anger, your frustration. A weak person lets that fire consume them, burning everything in its path. But a Stoic harnesses it. They use it as fuel, as motivation, as power. The fire does not destroy them, it elevates them. And that is where real strength is found. Not in love, not in begging, not in trying to prove your worth, but in being indifferent in the face of loss. The moment you stop reacting, the moment you stop seeking validation, the moment you stop caring whether they regret leaving or not, you win. And here's the twist. When they see you unaffected, when they see you didn't spiral, didn't chase, didn't break, that's when doubt creeps into their mind. They start to wonder if they made the wrong choice. They start questioning if you were more valuable than they realized. And that is when the dynamic shifts, because the one who is in control of themselves is in control of everything. People are drawn to strength, to mystery, to the unknown. The moment they sense they no longer have control over your emotions is the moment they start wondering if they ever really understood you at all. And that is why you must master yourself. Do not react. Do not chase. Do not give them the satisfaction of knowing they still have power over you. Instead, step back, breathe, and take control. You are no longer the person who begs for love. You are no longer the person who needs reassurance. You are the person who stands tall, who walks away without looking back, who is completely unmoved by the chaos around them. Because power isn't in reaction, power is in control. Walking away isn't losing, it's winning. Because the moment you walk away, you reclaim your value. You take back control. You shift the power dynamic in a way they never expected. Most people do the opposite. They cling, they try to negotiate. They send long paragraphs pouring out emotions, hoping that somehow words will make them realize what they've lost. But here's the truth. They already knew. They knew exactly what they were doing when they left. They knew you cared. They knew you would hurt. And they still made their choice. Now, it's your turn to make yours. Will you degrade yourself trying to convince someone to stay? Will you keep holding on to someone who has already let go? Or will you do what someone with true strength does? Walk away without hesitation, without explanation, without regret. A weak person clings. A weak person tries to fix what's broken. A weak person begs for love that has already been withdrawn. But a person of value knows their worth. And someone who truly knows their worth doesn't plead for someone to see it. They simply remove themselves. They let go, not because they wanted to, but because they had to. Because self-respect is never negotiable. And here's the paradox. The moment you walk away, they start to feel it. They start to wonder why you didn't fight for them. They start to question why you didn't beg. They expected tears. They expected desperation. They expected you to prove to them that they were the one for you. But instead, you disappeared. You left them standing there, questioning if they ever really mattered to you at all. And that is where power is found. Because people only value what they fear losing. As long as you are present, as long as you are available, as long as you are waiting in the background, hoping for another chance, they know they still have you. But the moment you walk away for good, that's when they truly feel your absence. That's when regret creeps in, because most people don't regret losing someone immediately. They only regret it when they realize that person has moved on to something better. They regret it when they see you thriving without them, unbothered, unreachable. They regret it when they realize they no longer have access to you. Because deep down, they thought they could always come back. They thought you would always be there, waiting. And when they see you're not, when they realize your life is better without them, that's when the regret becomes real. This is why walking away is the ultimate power move. It's not about making them miss you. It's not about playing games. It's about understanding that you don't need to convince someone to stay in your life. A king never begs. A king doesn't plead for loyalty. A king simply lets those who wish to leave, leave. And the moment you adopt this mindset, everything changes. You will feel a shift in your energy. You will no longer be the one who pleads for love. You will be the one who attracts it. Because true value is never found in desperation. True value is found in detachment. And the one who walks away first, that is the one who truly wins. Silence is the most powerful response you can give. No long messages, no explanations, no desperate attempts to change their mind. Just silence. Because while most people try to fix things with words, someone with true strength lets their absence speak for them. When someone leaves, they expect a reaction. They expect anger, sadness, pleading. They expect you to fight, to try and convince them they made a mistake. But the moment you give them nothing, the moment you vanish without a word, a seed of doubt is planted in their mind. Because silence forces them to sit with their decision. And silence is louder than anything you could ever say. Most people crumble when they are left behind. They send long messages trying to explain. They beg for clarity, for closure, for one last conversation. But every word is a reminder that the other person still holds power. That's why silence is the greatest weapon. It removes their control. It creates mystery. It forces them to wonder, why haven't they reached out? Do they not care? Did I make the wrong choice? And that is when the shift happens. The same person who walked away so confidently now begins to question everything. Because the one who walks away without looking back is the one who is rare, and people always desire what is rare. But silence isn't just about them, it's about you. It gives you space to reclaim yourself. No distractions, no waiting for a response, no draining your energy on someone who has already made their choice. Instead, all that energy is channeled back into you, your goals, your discipline, your evolution. And while they expect you to be shattered, you are thriving. Here's the truth. Most people don't feel the loss of someone immediately. They don't regret their decision right away. But after days, weeks, and months of silence, they start to wonder. Because the moment they see you're no longer available, the moment they realize you have moved forward without them, regret begins to creep in. And when that regret takes hold, they will test you. They might send a message, a simple "hey" out of nowhere, a random excuse to reach out. And this is where most people fail. Because the moment they get a response, they know they still have access to you. They weren't reaching out because they missed you. They were reaching out to see if you were still an option. But someone with true strength remains silent. They understand that responding would only serve the other person's ego, not their own value. They understand that their time, their energy, their presence, these are privileges, not entitlements. And the moment those privileges were thrown away, they were lost forever. This is the power of silence. It shifts control back into your hands. It forces them to realize they underestimated you. It makes them feel the emptiness of a world without you in it. And in the end, it forces them to see exactly what they lost. So say nothing. Walk away, disappear. Let their own mind do the work for you. Because the one who stays silent is the one they never forget. The greatest revenge isn't anger. It isn't proving them wrong. It isn't even making them miss you. The greatest revenge is becoming someone they can no longer have. Someone so evolved, so powerful, so untouchable, that even if they wanted to come back, they wouldn't even be in your league anymore. Most people sit in their pain. They waste time overanalyzing what went wrong, replaying every detail, obsessing over the past. They stay stuck in a cycle of regret, waiting for something that will never come. But a Stoic doesn't waste a single second. They channel every ounce of pain into building themselves. They don't just move on, they level up. And that is what separates them from the rest. Because while they expect you to be broken, you are transforming. While they are out seeking validation from someone new, you are creating a version of yourself they will never have access to again. This is the moment everything changes. Every gym session, every book you read, every dollar you earn, it's not about proving anything to them. It's about proving something to yourself, that you were always the prize, that you never needed them in the first place, that they were simply a chapter in your story, not the entire book. When someone fully commits to self-improvement, they become unreachable. They become rare, and people chase what is rare. They don't regret losing someone who stays the same. They regret losing someone who evolves beyond them. Picture this. Months from now, you're in the best shape of your life. Your mind is sharp and focused. Your money is right. Your energy is different. You walk into a room and people feel your presence. You no longer seek validation. You command it. And when they see this version of you, the regret hits like a storm. They will wonder why they left. They will wonder if they misjudged you. They will wonder if they made the wrong choice. Because the person they walked away from is not the person standing before them now. And the cruel truth is that they can't have you back because you are no longer available. You are no longer waiting for closure. You have leveled up beyond their reach. And now, you are the one who decides who is worthy of your time, your energy, your presence. This is what it truly means to be powerful. It's not about getting them back. It's about becoming the kind of person that makes everyone who left regret ever walking away. And the best part, once you reach that level, you won't even care about their regret anymore. So stop thinking about them. Stop checking their social media. Stop waiting for a sign that they miss you. Take every moment of pain and turn it into fuel. Get in the gym, build your empire, sharpen your mind. Because the one who becomes untouchable is the one who wins. Right now they think they hold all the power. They walked away. They chose someone else. They believe they made the right decision. And in their mind, you're still there, thinking about them, missing them, wishing they would come back. But what happens when you stop caring? What happens when you flip the script? This is where the real power shift begins. And the secret, it's not manipulation, it's not playing games, it's indifference. Because the one who is truly detached, the one who no longer reacts, is the one who holds all the power. Most people try to regain control by proving their worth. They post things online to get attention. They try to make their ex jealous. They seek ways to stay in their mind, hoping to remind them of what they lost. But all of this comes from attachment, and attachment is weakness. A Stoic doesn't play that game. A Stoic disappears, not to get a reaction, not to prove anything, but because they genuinely no longer care. And that is what makes the mind spiral. Because they expect you to chase, they expect you to wait in the background, hoping for another chance. But when you remove yourself entirely, when you go silent and become completely unreachable, they start to panic. Because now, they're not sure anymore. They start to wonder why you haven't reached out. They start to question if you've already replaced them. They start to doubt if they ever really had control over you at all. And that uncertainty is what makes them regret. Here's a truth most never understand. People are drawn to what they can't control. The moment they feel like they're losing their grip on you, their own mind turns against them. The moment they sense they no longer affect you, you become valuable again. And the one who moves on first, that's the one who wins. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone walk away only to try and come back once the other person has truly moved on? It's not because they suddenly realized that person was perfect. It's because they realized they no longer had power over them. And that's what makes them want them back. This is how you reverse the power dynamic. You stop chasing, you stop waiting, you stop reacting. Instead, you level up. You become unreachable. You make them feel your absence so deeply that silence itself becomes louder than words. Because silence is loud and indifference is intoxicating. And the best part? By the time they realize they made a mistake, you won't even care anymore. They'll come back. They'll test the waters. They'll try to regain their place in your life. But by then, you'll be so far ahead that they no longer fit into your world. That's real power, not in trying to make them regret it, not in hoping they see your worth, but in evolving so far beyond them that their regret doesn't even matter anymore. The moment you stop caring is the moment they start noticing. The moment you detach, you become magnetic. Because nothing is more attractive than someone who is completely unaffected. Most people believe attraction comes from pursuit. They think if they try harder, say the right words, prove their worth, or show how much they care, the other person will come back. But the truth is, attraction isn't created through effort. It's created through absence, through detachment, through the realization that they are no longer the center of your world. People crave validation. They thrive on attention. And when you remove that validation, when you stop giving them the attention they expect, they begin to crave it. They start to wonder why you're not chasing, why you're not reacting, why you've moved on so effortlessly. And here's the paradox. When you want them back, they feel no urgency. But when you genuinely stop caring, when you truly detach, they feel the void you left behind. And that void forces them to start chasing you. Because here's a truth that most never understand. People don't want someone who needs them. They want someone who's needed by no one. Neediness repels, indifference attracts. When someone is emotionally independent, when they don't rely on anyone else to feel whole, they become rare. They become someone others respect, admire, and secretly fear losing. And those who do lose them regret it for life. This is why detachment is so powerful. It shifts the entire dynamic. When they see you are no longer invested, when they see you are thriving without them, they start to question, did I make a mistake? Were they actually better than I thought? Do they even think about me anymore? And when those thoughts creep in, they start looking for signs that they still matter to you. They might reach out. They might react to your posts. They might even try to get your attention indirectly, hoping for a response. But this is where most people fail, because the moment they get any reaction from you, they know they still have a place in your mind. And once they know that, the game is over. A true Stoic doesn't just act detached, they are detached. They don't use it as a tactic. They don't fake it to get a reaction. They genuinely move forward. They build. They thrive. They become the kind of person who is so locked in on their purpose, so focused on their own evolution, that someone else's absence is irrelevant. And that is what makes them irresistible, because people don't desire those who chase, they desire those they can't have. And when they finally realize that you've truly moved on, that you genuinely don't care whether they regret their decision or not, that's when they start feeling it. That's when they start to lose. Because they lost something rare, something they will never find again, and now they have to live with that regret. They thought they were making the right choice. They thought the grass was greener. They thought you would always be there, waiting in the background, hoping for another chance. But now they're realizing something. They were wrong. Because while they expected you to chase, to beg, to prove yourself, you did the opposite. You disappeared, you leveled up, you became unreachable. And now they're feeling the weight of that decision. This is the inevitable regret. It happens when someone truly detaches, when they stop reacting, when they stop needing, when they stop giving away their energy to someone who already walked away. Because here's the truth. Most people don't regret losing someone immediately. They only regret it when they see what they lost. And that takes time. At first, they're distracted by the excitement of something new, the thrill of attention, the temporary high of believing they made the right move. But after the dust settles, after the novelty fades, after they realize that their new situation isn't as perfect as they thought, that's when the regret sets in. And when they look back at you, expecting to see the same person they left behind, they see someone entirely different. They see someone who is thriving, someone who has upgraded their life in every way, someone who no longer wants them, no longer needs them, no longer even thinks about them. And that's what makes them spiral. Because people desire what they can't have. And when they realize they can't have you anymore, when they see that you've become someone they no longer have access to, they start searching for a way back in. They test the waters, a random text, a casual, "How have you been?" a like on an old post, anything to see if they still hold a place in your mind. And this is where most people fail. Because they respond, they take the bait. They allow the past to crawl back in, hoping this time will be different. But a Stoic sees these tests for what they really are. They are not signs of love. They are not proof of change. They are reactions to indifference. They are reaching out, not because they suddenly respect you, but because your silence made them feel insecure. They want to know if they still have power over you. They want to see if they can still control you emotionally. And the moment you give them that validation, the moment you engage, the game resets. Suddenly, they no longer feel like they lost you. They feel like you were just waiting for them to come back all along. And that's why the Stoic does nothing. They remain indifferent. They don't react. They don't respond. They keep moving forward because they understand one undeniable truth. Once someone leaves, they have already made their decision. And someone with real value does not allow people to make the same mistake twice. They will come back. They always do. But by the time they do, you will have outgrown them. You will have become someone so far beyond who you used to be that they no longer fit into your life. And that will be their greatest regret. You were the prize all along. At first, it didn't feel that way. When they walked away, when they chose someone else, when they made you feel like you weren't enough, it seemed like you had lost, like you had been rejected, like you weren't worthy. But the reality is, they lost you. And that is a loss they will have to live with for the rest of their life. Because while they were out searching for something better, you were becoming something greater. You weren't crying over them. You weren't begging for another chance. You weren't chasing after someone who already made their choice. Instead, you were building, refining, evolving. You were shaping yourself into the kind of person who never has to chase again. You were creating a life so valuable, so powerful, so magnetic that their absence became completely irrelevant. And now you stand here, looking back, and you smile, because you understand something most never will. The one who masters themselves, who controls their emotions, who never begs for love, never loses. This is the Stoic mindset, the unshakable truth that nothing outside of you defines your worth. Not a relationship, not rejection, not loss, not someone else's choices. Your value comes from within, and once you truly embody this mindset, you become untouchable. You no longer fear losing someone because you know that someone truly valuable is never afraid to walk alone. You no longer seek validation from others because you validate yourself. You no longer chase love because you understand that the only love that truly matters is self-respect. And now, they see it. They see the person you have become, the strength, the success, the confidence, the absence of need. And that is why they regret leaving. Because what they lost was not just a person, they lost an opportunity to be part of something great. But here's the difference. You don't care anymore. You don't care whether they regret it or not. You don't care whether they miss you. You don't care about their choices, their mistakes, their feelings, because they are no longer part of your reality. You have won, not because you got them back, not because they suddenly saw your worth, not because they regret it. You have won because you have transcended the version of yourself that once believed they were the best you could do. And now you know they were never your prize, you were theirs. This is the final level. The moment you stop chasing, stop reacting, stop caring, you become the person who is in complete control of their destiny. And once you reach that level, everything, money, success, respect, even love, comes to you effortlessly, because the one who needs nothing attracts everything.